Welcome to this webinar Fit-for-Purpose tooling to gear your IBP process. My name is Jan Veerman, Managing Partner of ION Solutions, and I will host this webinar to show you the capabilities of a cloud solution like Anaplan could fit your IBP process and support it. A short introduction of Anaplan. Date of origin is 2006 and the number of customers and users worldwide already 35,000. They have a strong presence in many verticals like retail customers, insurance, pharmacy, process, high-tech, automotive, FMCG, finance, and many more customers. And the type of planning models that you can create with Anaplan is also unlimited, like a finance planning model, HR, operations, S&OP, statistical forecasting, marketing, sales, you name it. The tool is very flexible and very fast to gear your IBP process. In this demo script, what we are going to do is show you the capabilities of a standard demo model available in Anaplan App Hub Store. So what you can do is just open Anaplan, and once you have a login in Anaplan, you can download this standard demo and copy it to your own environment where you can have a look at it. What we've done is we've copied it to our workspace, and from there we just create this demo. We didn't actually adjust the model, so it's best the model is as we just copied it from the Anaplan environment. Just to show you that we are working in a live demo environment, we will open, in this case, Safari, the web browser, but any web browser will do. I will open my Safari environment and go to the web environment of Anaplan, where I need to log into the environment. So in this case you will see my email address and my password already completed because I have been here before, and when I click login it really connects me to my workspace environment from my company, where I see a 4x5 tile environment, meaning 20 different planning models. So if I go to the right, there's a second page where we can see all the planning applications available to me as a user of the Anaplan environment. In this case it's a very crowded environment, so what I can do is just select the favorites, and those are the ones as you can see on top here with the black star on top. If I select those, I see immediately only a few tiles left over. Each tile, as mentioned, is a planning application which I just can open. You can imagine that if you have a tablet like an iPad, it's also easy to connect to this application by using the web browser on your tablet. Log into the environment and you will see the same tiled environment in front of you, and just by swiping or pressing a tile you can just open a application, and from there you can work as the same as you can do from your laptop. In this case we will open the demo, and by clicking it, it will start loading it into the memory of the Anaplan service. The Anaplan environment is a cloud solution. You don't have to install anything on your laptop or your workstation. It's just connecting via your web browser to the application and start working on it. It's an in-memory application. It's meaning that once you start opening the application, it's opened in the memory of the application service of Anaplan. Once it's opened, it's really fast in adjusting your planning model based on the changes an end user or an administrator makes in the application. So once you key in different numbers, it immediately is calculated in the application as soon as you hit the enter button and reflected in the tables and the graphs. So we've opened a web browser, we've selected an application, and in this case we we will see a starting dashboard where we see on the left part the planning environment, and in this case it is a production firm, production environment where we first generate a statistical forecast based on the actuals from last year. Then the marketing department can log into the application and maintain the forecast based on the new product introductions, end of lives, the promotions that we're going to do. After that, the executive level is planning a top-down plan, is creating a top-down plan where they key in just a couple of numbers, and based on that the forecast is cascaded down to the lowest level of detail. It's also made financial, so we can show you a short P&L to see how that's incorporated in the financial figures, and then the demand planner can see the cascaded forecast from statistical, marketing and global sales cascaded down to the lowest level of detail where he is responsible for, and he can just start adjusting that forecast and come to a bottom-up approach, and in the end a consensus forecast. So what we will see in the graphs below here is just the different types of the demand forecast shown graphically over the months. After that we will go to the supply planning part, where we will see the production plan coming out of the demand planning cycle. We will look at the inventory plan, and by the end we will see our sourcing plan, where we will see the final requirements, the net requirements divided over the different factory or plans that we have available in this case. And in the end, what we will look at is a executive overview and a consensus forecast, where the demand and the supply will come together in one overview. So in this case, what we'll do is just start looking at the statistical forecast, and we will see just by clicking on it, it will open a new dashboard, and in here we will see all kinds of different graphs combined with a table. So we will see a line chart in here with another graph over here, and a table to the bottom right, and some parameters based on the scenario or the forecast method that we have chosen. So we will see different kinds of lines in here, and to make sure that we will focus on the line items that we want to see. So for example, just by pressing the smooth units, it will deselect that line, and also by deselecting the trend line. We will see only the unit forecast, the blue line, that's the statistical forecast, and the unit history. So that's the actual figures that we have loaded into the system. In this case, by selecting back in the lines again, it shows you the graphs. What we also see here is a drop-down box, and in this case, if we select this box, we will see a product dimension opening up from product, on the total level of products, that's the aggregate level, to the first level of product lines, to product groups, and to the final product, so the highest level of detail. In this case, we've just selected a product monosilicon hard 1x2. And based on that selection, we will see which forecast method is chosen for this product. In this case, we will see it's the actual history, and actual history it will calculate the forecast for the new period. In this case, there is actuals up till December 14, and the forecast starts with January 15. And the actual history forecast method is based on a moving average, where it will take into account the actual history, which will be cleaned for outliers first, and then the seasonal pattern is deducted from the actuals. Then the moving average is calculated, and the seasonal pattern is applied again. Another forecast method is the adjusted history, where in this model you can go to a different table where you can adjust the history based on the manual adjustments that you make. Another option is the smooth history, and that's based on the single exponential smoothing forecast method. And the last one is the Croston, and that's an extra forecast algorithm. It's the same as smooth history, but now it takes into account for irregular demand. So for example, if I select a different product, the monosilicon hard 4x8, I will see that my seasonal pattern or that my pattern is quite irregular. So the demand is quite irregular in this case, and the forecast method is adjusted for that one. It's now the Croston irregular, and you can see all the kinds of different parameters for this specific forecast method, which we can overrule if necessary. Also the number of outliers. So if I go back to my first initial chosen product, and if I select a new product in here, it will also change the table or the graph on the right and the table view over here. So if I select now my mono silicon hard 1x2, it will also show on the graphs here my mono silicon hard 1x2 and in the corresponding table as well. So all the data in this dashboard is related to the one selection that I've made over here. So in this case what I see is a number of outliers. There are two outliers based on a sigma that is chosen in the forecast tool. In this case I can see two numbers for May 11 and for March 12. So what I can do is look at the values and see deseasonalized values and see if I want to overrule this as an outlier. It's now selected as an outlier, but if I want to overrule it and say okay, it's not an outlier, it's not taking into account that this number is now an outlier, so it will recalculate based on the settings that I make here. I just stick to my initial values. If you look closely, I will do it one more time. If I select this one, my graph is immediately responding to the changes I've made. That's the advantage of an in-memory application. You can see it in here. Changes made to the planning model are reflected in any type of table or graph corresponding to the data. I close this outlier file and I go back to my statistical forecast. So in this case, a statistical forecast is generated based on my actual data. Step 1. The next step is that marketing can go into the application and make changes based on marketing campaigns or new product introductions or end-of-life products. In this case, what I can show you here is that, for example, we want to add a new product. So in this case, we open up the application and we see that there are two new products planned for 2015, and I want to add another one. I select in the table a item and press the plus button on the top left corner. It's saying insert. So if I click insert, I click OK, and it is shown here in the application. Just a number, but if I now enter a display name, new solar product 2, and press enter, and I will see immediately that my name, the name corresponding to it, is adjusted. I made a typo, for example. Go back, make it panel, and the changes are immediate. I have to select a level to which this item belongs. So that's the first level of detail of aggregation, I mean. So I select the mono silicon hard. What's the effective start date? In this case, I want to make it effective by July 1st, and it's now incorporated. But now still I need to make sure that I enter some extra data on the amount of unit sales. So in this case I select 5,000, so I think I'm going to sell 5,000 of this new product, and it's the same as, for example, another specific product. So I select the silicon heart 1x2. So I think that my sales pattern is the same as for this product, and the seasonality is based on that specific product. So if I press enter or select this item, immediately the graph is shown based on the seasonal pattern of this specific product over here and for the 5,000 units. So you'll see how easy it is to add another product. In this case it's a product, but it could also mean a new customer or a new product market combination that you want to add. So you're not reliable, or you don't have to wait for your source system to have that data incorporated. You can just start planning as soon as you know that there is a new product coming onto the market, or you have a new customer. So in this case we just added, by a few clicks, we added a new product and we just started to enter the data for that new product. I can add, for example, a sales price and a cost price, so we're making quite a nice margin, and it will be reflected in the P&L later on. So going back to my S&OP, now global sales can go into the application and select from a top-down level the target that we need to achieve. So in this case, last year sales is about 128 million. And initially we said we're going to grow 7%, but after some discussion in the board, we said no, instead of 7% we are going to grow, we have a growth target of 10%. And we will see that immediately the new target is calculated, and we will see that divided over the regions, USA to the APAC region, and the total is about 140 million. But we are going. We see that EMEA and APAC is not strongly. Is not. We want to add more focus to those area, so we are going to override the calculated projected goal into a new target, and we aim for 7.5 million for EMEA and 7.5 million for APAC. But we don't want to change our total target. But in this case, the final goal is not adjusting for the new figures. So we say, in this case, we want to hold the USA figure, because this figure cannot be touched. Not again. We're going to hold the America non-USA. This figure cannot be changed, so the 2.9 million we're gonna keep untouched, and we want to override the projected goal for EMEA and APAC, and immediately we will see that the total figure is not adjusted, but the extra that we are going to add for the EMEA and APAC goal is deducted from the USA goal, and it's immediately reflected in the price pocket waterfall diagram, and based on that we can also have a deep dive in the data for the USA. The Anaplan environment has more cards than just the USA. It also has a Europe card and also a global world chart that you can use. In this case, it's just shown the USA as a heat map based on the sales. So we now added a top-down level from executive level, and we can see also the financial impact of the changes that we've made. We will see a graph per month of the revenue, the blue lines, and the costs. So we can see on in this case a product group level. It's not on product level, but on product group level. We can see how many margin we are making. Also a division over the different product groups in a pie chart, so we can see easily that the monosilicon heart is the biggest the monocon silicon soft is the biggest group, and the hybrid soft and the string ribbon soft are also big groups in our product groups. And the financial P&L in here, we can easily select the top level, so a P&L for all products, and immediately see the margins that we are making here, the profits. So the financial impact, and after that we go to the demand planner forecast. So we've seen a statistical forecast being created, marketing has made their input, executive level made their input, we've seen the financial impact, and now we go into more detail to the demand planner forecast, where the demand for a specific product can now be adjusted. So in this case we select the monocon silicon hard 1x2, and in here we will see all kinds of forecasts coming in, and the demand planner can adjust and overrule the top-down level. So in this case we will say it's not the 33 from statistical forecast, but we're going to adjust that to 31, and in this case we're going to adjust that to the 33 item. So a demand planner can adjust the top-down level forecast based on the local knowledge he has on his market, his customers, competitors, and adjust it. As soon as he presses enter, or the data is entered in the application, it's rolled back up to the most the highest level in the hierarchy. So on the all product level, it is aggregated to that level. So, concluding on the demand part, we've seen different kinds of forecast, finally ending by the demand planner, where each part is very flexible in entering the data. What we will do now is close all the dashboard we've seen so far and reopen the S&OP dashboard to start looking into the production plan. What we will see here is the production plan. It's opened. From this point onwards, what we can do is start leveling the supply over the production size that we have to meet the final demand coming in from the consensus demand forecast. We will see the consensus demand, the blue lines, and the planned production. So we see some mismatches here. Could be a logical reason for that. In this case, the capacity utilization in a percentage. And what we can do here, for example, is adjust the planned production to and make some changes to it. So in this case, what we'll see is the planned production of 43, and we can add 2 to it. In this case, add 4 to it, so -4. We change that to 4, or put it back to -10. It's very easy, and you can see the graphical changes made in here as well. So we can adjust the production planning. It's also divided then over the different plan sites. And also can see how that is impacted on our labor outlook. So based on the production plan, it's translated to the planned labor outlook. And once that opened, what we will see here is a division over the different sites. And in this case, we can play around, run scenarios based on the labor efficiency strategy. So we've chosen a moderate strategy. So in this case, if I select this one, there are 3 scenarios available. And if I select aggressive, in this case, I will scroll down a little bit. We will see that aggressive means in this case that we try to be more efficient. So we need probably less labor. So if we choose that strategy, it should be reflected in the graph below and also in the FTEs required. So if I select aggressive, we immediately see the impact, and it's already looking much better now compared to what we need. And this could something that we could play around, also with the scheduled time that we need, the number of break of the hours of break that we can take, and non-productive time that we can also KPIs that we can look into. So once we have adjusted the production plan, can look into the inventory plan, where we can see how that reflects our inventory. In this case, we will see the beginning inventory, and what we see here is that beginning inventory is a combination of, this case, the beginning inventory of the required inventory, 43 in this case, minus the consensus demand, and then it will calculate the beginning inventory for the next month. But it's just an overview where we can see the impact on our inventory in value. It's declining after the summer holiday of the summer season, and it's increasing our safety stock percentage. So we can start play around with that in our sourcing plan, where we just allocate the net requirements. Those are allocated over the different sourcing sites, so the factories that we've got. So in this case, we see that the net requirements is 36 to 45 to 46 for this specific products. If I go back to production planning, we will see, based on the adjustments that we've made here, that it's the planned production based on the manual adjustments, so 36, 45, 46. It's the same, of course, as in here, and that is divided based on the percentages to net requirements per site. And what we can do in here is just overrule that manually, as well as we did see in the other tables. So in this case, there is a net requirement of 13.7, but we want to increase it, say, to 15. And we see the graphical changes. In this case, we have a net requirement of 17, but we want to add change that to 20, so we can make the manual adjustments as well in the sourcing environment. Going back to my S&OP environment, we did see the effects of our consensus demand into our production plan. We are able to adjust that and see the impact on the labor that we need to have, also the impact on our inventory plan and the allocation over the sites. And now what we can see is the consensus forecast. In this case, we have the consensus forecast as shown in the S&OP dashboard in the beginning, as well as a graph where we can see 100% capacity utilization. So that's just a fixed line, and the actual or the forecasted capacity utilization. So we can see that in January we still have something that we have to deal with, and also in April. And for the other months we are under the 100%, so capacity is well capable of delivering. We can see all kinds of demand coming in, the statistical overview, so that was the first forecast generated, the marketing, the sales plan, financial impact, and a supply snapshot in one table overview. And if I go back to my S&OP dashboard and select the executive S&OP, more from an executive high-level overview, a traffic light indicator for demand, supply, and finance, different KPIs. So for demand, for example, the forecast accuracy over the product lines, not on detail level, but product lines, and also for all products. So if I select the hard panel PV, also my P&L is changed to the hard panel PV, or going back to all products. You can see immediately the impact for the P&L on that level. The graphical overview for the different types of demands and consensus and forecast sales. The consensus forecast sales versus the actual sales prior year. In this case, I want to add an extra graph to it, so I know where I can have that specific data coming from. In this case, if I open a module executive view and I want to make a graph that contains 3 lines, for example, my revenue, my cost of goods sold, and my gross margin in dollars. I select those 3 items, and then I can select the type of graph that I want to show. In this case, for example, a line chart or a column chart. And there are different options in here. We did see the map chart, we did see the waterfall chart, we did see the pie chart in the dashboard. In this case, we want to have a column chart. Click on it and it generates a chart, and I want to publish it to that specific executive S&OP dashboard as shown in here. So I press the publish to dashboard. I have to look for my executive S&OP dashboard, and once I select it, it is added to my dashboard. I have to scroll down to see it, and there it is. So my revenue, my cost of goods sold, and my gross margin. I want to rearrange it a little bit so it is more in line with the other graphs. Rearrange my dashboard, scroll down, select my chart and select it to the place where I want to have it. Make it a little bit bigger so it's in line with the other charts. And now I can just save it and it's available in my dashboard. So if I close this one and reopen it, I will see that it's now added to my dashboard. I scroll down and there's my newly created dashboard. So a very short demo of how a SaaS tool like Anaplan can help you supporting your integrated business planning process. So demand, meeting the supply side, and also the financial impact on that. The Anaplan tool is very capable of handling large and complex planning models. In this case, what we can do is make, based on user roles, apply security. So if I log in as a board member, I can only see, for example, my executive S&OP dashboard, and all the other dashboards are not available to me. As an admin, I logged in this demo I logged in as an administrator, so I do see all the data and all the dashboards, but we can tailor that to the level of detail as needed for each specific planning model. So we did see it's quite flexible in creating new products. That could also be done for new geographies, new customers, depending on your planning needs. We just created a new graph and added it to a specific dashboard. Once we've made the changes into the planning model, it's reflected immediately into the tables and to the graph, so it's easy to play around. We run a labor scenario, so we changed it from moderate to aggressive and immediately can see the impact. So Anaplan, to my opinion, is a great solution to support an environment where we need to handle complex models, but also simple models can be incorporated in that environment. So that concludes my demo. I hope you enjoyed it, and check our website to see more demos later on. Thank you.